Hi all, welcome to Learn Code Repeat. So today's lead code problem, which is the day 12 of September challenge, is combination sum third part. This is solved using backtracking solution, and we'll discuss in detail about backtracking approach as well. So let's look into the problem. So this is a problem statement. Find all possible combination of k numbers that add up to a number n. Given that only numbers from 1 to 9 can be used and each combination should be a unique set of numbers. So the question says that there will be input k and n value. N is the target sum that we want to check, and k is the total number of elements that can be there in the array. We have to find each set of these elements which when added together forms the number n, right? So, and also the condition is that you cannot have duplicate set, right? So the combination cannot be duplicate. So we have 1 to 4, we cannot have 2 1 4 or 4 2 1, right? It should be a unique set of elements. So let's take the second example in this case where k equal to 3 and n equal to 9, right? So we have the numbers between 1 to 9. That's one of the criteria, right? That they have given in the question, that we can use any numbers between 1 to 9. And we have to check whether the sum forms n, right? In this case, n is 9. So the brute force approach is select each number from the list of elements or list of numbers that we have, which here in this case it is 1 to 9 we have. So we'll first select the first number as 1, and now we have to select or now we have to choose the number 2 and 3 such that when I add all the three numbers I should get the sum as 9, right? So the second and third number can be, since it cannot be a duplicate, right? So one way to do that is we move forward, we don't move backward. So if we have selected 1, then we can only select 2 3 4, right? And similarly, if we have selected 4 for example, right, we can only select 5 6 7, we cannot select 3 2 1, right? We should not go backward, otherwise the same combination would have happened for some previous element, right, where we have started with 2 or started with 3, right? So that way we can prevent having a duplicate in our set, right? Since we are starting with 1, the next number we can have is 2. So keeping now 2 as my constant, the third number can be 6, right? Because 6 2 and 1 together, when they add up, they form the number 9. So that is our n equal to 9, right? So once we are done with 6, then I need to check with the next number after that for the third digit, right? So here before reaching 6, right, I would have checked once I select 2, I would have checked for the third number whether 3 is a valid combination. Similarly, I'll go to 4, then I will go to 5, and then when I reach 6, I will find 6 as the valid combination. Then again I'll check with 7, and when I check with 7, I'll see that 7 2 and 1 is not a valid combination. So I'll go back, right, because that is basically exceeding the nth value, right, which is 9, right? So now I know that the third number I cannot move forward because it will always exceed the n value, right? So I need to go with the next second number. Okay, so currently my second number is 2. Now I need to check with keeping 3 as constant for my second number and checking different combination of my third number, right? So if I keep 3 as constant, the third number I'll check with 4. 4 3 and 1 is not equal to 9. Then I'll check with 5. So 5 3 and 1 is equal to 9. So that is a valid combination. Then I'll check with 6, keeping 3 as constant. 6 3 and 1 is 10, which exceeds 9. So I know I don't need to go forward. Now I need to move to the next second digit, right? So after third, the next second digit is 4, right? So here after 3, if I go to 4, right, 4 plus 1 is 5, and the number after 4 is 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10. So 10 is exceeding the n value, right? So I know that with 4 and so on, it won't be a valid number. So I have to now go with the next digit for 1, right, which is 2. So I'll check again for the combination of 2, keeping 2 constant. I'll move with the second number as 3 and so on. So I'll find 3 and 4. That is the next combination, right? So that way I have to move forward, right? So if you see, what we are doing here is I'm keeping one constant. So here I'm keeping first one constant, and then I'm moving to 2, then I'm keeping 2 constant, then I'm checking all different combinations of the third digit, right? So first I'm keeping the first digit constant, then second digit constant. So the logic, right, is same that I'm following here. I'm following the same logic here, right? So you can see the recurrence here, right? You can do the same thing and recur it in the same function, right? So you can do this logic, and when you come to this number, you can again call the same function. So what we are doing here, once we are exhausted this particular second number, we backtrack and we go back to the first number, then we go to the next of the first number, right? So after 1 it was 2, then we'll go to 2 and then 3, then we'll check all the combination of keeping second number constant and then moving around with third, and once that combination is exhausted, then we'll backtrack to the second digit and then we'll go to the next second digit, which is 4, and again do the same thing for 4, right? So if you visualize as a tree, we are doing nothing but a DFS approach, right? We are doing a depth first search here, and then we are backtracking at each level, right? So once we are exhausting that level, we are doing a backtracking of that, right? So if I show the pseudocode, right, the pseudocode for only that particular recurring relation will look something like this. So here we have a backtrack method, and I'll come to this arguments that I'm passing. K and N is nothing but the input argument that I'm getting here, and start is the start value from which I have to start with. So initially I'll start with 1, and I'll call this backtrack method in a recurring fashion in this for loop, right? So in the for loop, I'm just going from starting from the start value up to 9, right? Because in our case it is only till 9 we have to go through all the digits, right? So I'm having a list, I'm adding whatever numbers we are choosing into this list, and then again recurring with the backtrack with the same method, but this time I'm making sure that the start value is +1, whatever is my current I +1. So here if you see, we choose I as 1, and then the second digit will be the next digit of my first digit, right? It should start from there. So that's what I'm doing here. My second digit is next digit of my I, so I +1. Okay, now since I chose this, right, so this number should be subtracted from my n value, right, from my final target that I have. So I'm subtracting I from n here, okay, and I'm keeping k as is. So when I come back to here, again it will do the same for loop, and once the whole thing is exhausted, right, once for example, let's say it added the second digit 2, and then it will check for all the 3. So once this is exhausted, 2 needs to be removed from my set or from my list, and then I should go with the next integer value, which is 3, right? So that's what I'm doing here. I'm removing whatever I added here, right? So since I added here I am removing this from my list, right? And then I'm going to the next I value. So I'm making sure that that combination is removed, so that way duplicate won't happen. Okay, now when I'm recurring, right, I should not go in an infinite loop, right? So there should be some base condition where I need to stop my recurring. So in this case, what will be the base condition, right? I need to stop when in my list, right, I have k number of elements, and if since I'm removing whatever elements I chose, right, I'm removing that element from my n value, right, I'm subtracting that element from my n value. At the end, if I get the correct set, right, for example 1, 2 and 6, right, so at the end when I choose 6, at that time the value of n will become 0, right, because here it will be 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 6 will be 9, and n minus 9 will be 0. So at the end, when I again do a backtracking and call the backtracking, the value of n will be 0, and the number of element in list will be 3, right? So I need to stop. One condition is when my list dot size equal to k, so in my list there are 3 elements, and my n should be equal to 0. So that is one condition. Also, it can happen that my k has not reached 3 elements, but before that n is less than 0, right? It can happen that way as well. So in that case also we have to return, right? So here these are the two base condition, right? Once if the list is size is k and n is 0, at that time I have to return, or if n is less than 0, that time I have to return. Now in the former case where list dot size equal to k and n equal to 0, that's a valid combination. So in that case we have to add that combination in our result list, right? Now make sure that when you're adding this combination, you have to add it as a new array list, don't add that list as is, because that will be passed as a reference, and then when you remove it from here, list.remove, that will also get removed in the result, and at the end the result will have only blank array lists. Okay, so this is the whole logic. So whenever you are doing a backtracking solution, there are three main steps. First step is you have to make a choice, right? You have to choose between multiple options, right? And then check whether those options are correct or not. It's similar to like in a maze game, right? There are some pathways which let you to the right direction, whereas some pathways are dead end, right? So even if you go through a dead end and if you find that that's a dead end, that was a choice you make, then you go back and then you take the next option that you have, right? So that's same as a backtracking option, right? So here we are making a choice that I'll first add whatever is the value for I into my list. Once I add that, I'll try to see whether that combination with this choice I made, whether I get the valid combination. Then I do the recurring on that, right? So this is the first step, right? Second is when I'm doing the recurring, I have to make sure that the recurring should stop, right? So there should be some base case condition, right? Where it can be when the target whatever condition is there that has reached. So in this case, this will be the target condition which has reached, or it can be that the target condition has not reached, and we know that beyond that point you will never find the target condition. So here in this case it will be if n goes below 0, right? We know that we will never get target condition, so we can return, right? So that is a base case condition. So second step is the base case condition, and a third step is that once either the target condition is reached or it's not reached, right, we have to go to the next choice, right? We have to go with next option. So whenever we are going with next option, we have to remove the current selection that we made from that list, right? So here we are doing that backtracking part, right, where we are removing the current selection that we made, so that when we go to the next iteration, it again creates a new choice and it chooses that number and then go with that combination. So these are the three steps for backtracking. So in this case, right, what will be the complexity of this algorithm? So we have given 9 numbers, right? Don't look at this 9. I'm not talking about this n equal to 9, but we have 9 numbers that we can select from, right? And the total number of values that needs to be selected is k, right? So the complexity will be 9ck, which is, since we have to choose k numbers from 9 numbers, right, which is nothing but 9 factorial upon k factorial into 9 minus k factorial. So this is the complexity of that algorithm. And since we are using k space, so the space will be O of k, right? Even though we are using some constant times k, but the big O notation will be O of k for the space. So let's look into the code. Okay, so I've written the same code here in Java. So what I've done is the backtrack method is same that I explained earlier. So I'm calling the for loop. Inside the for loop, I'm adding in the list, and I'm recurring on backtrack, and then I'm removing the last element that I added in my list. And as a base condition, I'm checking if my n is 0 and the list size is equal to k, then add into the final result. My result is a global variable that I've declared here. Also when n is 0, I'm returning, so I'm breaking the recurring function. So in my main method, I'm calling this backtrack with the list. So I've created an empty list since I want to start with 1. So here the start variable, I'm passing it as 1 here. K and n is the same number that I got in as an argument into the method. Once I call the backtrack, at the end I can return the result. So this backtrack will do recurring calls and it will fill up the result for all valid combination. So let's submit this, and the result is accepted. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe, and if you have any question, please write down in the comment section. Thank you.